My name is Bernard Reber. I'm from Swiss origin, but I work in France in the Centre National for the Scientific Research. I'm based in Paris in a unit called the Research Center, meaning Ethics and Society, and I'm philosopher.
And are you a member of one of the projects?
Yes, I'm a member of the GREAT project.
And the GREAT project also works on responsible research and innovation. Can you give us your understanding of the concept?
Yes, for me, to make it very brief, responsible innovation is a better innovation. We are in a quarrel of improvements. We want to live a good life in just institution, and RRI could make the link between good life and a just institution. So I think that we have to find a way to find a new governance of distributed responsibilities if we want to have stakeholders and innovators in the same process. But it will be a long process to have both in the same arenas of discussion.
I'd like to ask you why it's important, but since you already said it's about the good life, it's quite obvious why it's important, but would you like to add anything else on
Yes, because good life, it's a very old question. You have it in philosophy, and you have other ways to make it better, and technologies can help for this, and innovations can help and have helped for this. But every time you have innovation, and it's an old question like with the fire, you have a lot of side effects. So you are in an iterative process to avoid these side effects and this disruption, because you will assist to disequilibrium, and it's why now innovators have to have a more dense innovation, not only to have innovation to create new jobs, that's a very good thing, to sell new produces, that's very good, but they have to be more sustainable, and you have a very large spectrum of assessment of this technology. I have had my tea this morning, and it's very funny. You can see that the tea you are drinking is a fair tea, and it respects the forest. So it's possible to ask more things on the produce you buy.
And for whom do you think it's an important concept?
For the tea, for example, if we take the tea example, it's good for the farmer, it's good for the environment, it's good for the future generation, it's good for you drinking the tea too.
And does it remind you the concept of any other earlier concepts?
Yes, during the time of, for example, Murray Bookchin in US, one of the founders of social ecology, we have this kind of concern with environmental crisis and the need to find the better institution to tackle this question. In Europe, mainly in Europe, we had the participatory technological assessment trends too, and we had a couple of years ago, perhaps decades ago, the whistleblowers process and the need to defend them. So it's not totally new. What is new is to try to connect, to subsume all these different things under the same umbrella.
And do you think it's a global concept, or is it a European one?
I think it's very global. It's very funny because in NSF they speak about broad impact assessment when you do a research. But I think RRI is more global because you ask not only, and you are not concerned and focused on the outcomes, but you are interested by the question of sustainability, the question of ethical acceptability. And if you open the box of ethical acceptability, it can take time to have all and to answer to all to these requirements.
And to make the concept more powerful, what do you think needs to happen next or more successful?
As I've said, it will be difficult to develop all the virtuality of the responsible concept. Responsibility can be at least understood that you have 6 different ways to understand responsibility. It could be cause, it could be a liability, it could be task, it could be capacity, it could be blameworthiness, it could be liability. And so it's very interesting to develop and to connect all these different ways to understand responsibility. And if we want to share responsibility among different actors, I think we have to find a relevant way to attribute different responsibilities to different stakeholders according to their capacities, and it will take time. Another thing that is very important is that we have improved kind of experiments, socio-democratical experiments in mini public, in small public, for example, citizen conference on GM food, for example, or nuclear power. But nowadays we have to find a way to connect these small experiences with big politics, with inter-institutional deliberation. And there is a new trend in the field, for example, of deliberative democracy, speaking how is it possible to have a kind of ecosystem of institution.